Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and today I'm going to teach you how you can make money writing. Okay, so I had a question from someone in my audience recently, and he was like, how can I make money writing? I love to write. I want to find a way to make a job out of writing. And that's something I've seen a lot. Like, a lot of people like to write. The thing is, most people don't understand that there are many different kinds of writing, and each one is going to have a different way of interacting with the economy and a different way of making money off of it. So I want to kind of walk you guys through the different kinds of writing and the different structures by which that writing can actually generate income. So the first kind of writing, and the most common, is what I'm going to call contract writing. Right? At the lower end, this is going to be content writing. So this is something where somebody has a website and they need somebody to, populate the web pages with the text, right? Or, they have a blog that they use to sell stuff and they need somebody to go write some stuff about what's going on in this market. And so that requires doing a little bit of research, understanding the space, and putting together some writing. That is, that's great, right? Content writing is generally a lower paid form of contract writing. So, you're normally going to get anywhere from, $10 to $25 an hour is normally the range. Sometimes it's paid by word or by, page or stuff like that, or by deliverable, and that's fine, right? Another form of contract writing is copywriting. So copywriting is marketing and sales writing. Good copywriters can earn a lot of money, right? There are some copywriters that earn millions of dollars a year, right? If they're really, 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 really good. At the lower end of copywriting, you're looking at anywhere from about $25 an hour to maybe up to $100 an hour for people who are kind of, within their first couple years of experience and who don't have any big home runs to their name. The thing about copywriting is if you accumulate the stats of how much you've actually sold through your work, of your conversion stats, all that kind of stuff, you can use that to get much, much, much higher compensation because you've got a proven track record. So you start off low, you generate a track record, you keep your stats, you build that up, and you can end up making a lot of money, especially if you start expanding from just copywriting into things like funnel structuring and overall marketing and sales stuff. And that can go into things like, writing not just like an ad, but for example, writing a webinar, writing a 45-minute webinar and having the script for that webinar, right? That's stuff that can come into contract writing, specifically within copywriting. Because ultimately, a lot of marketing and sales is just telling stories, right? At the end of the day, stories sell. Humans love stories. We evolved telling stories around the campfire. Like, stories are persuasive. So, if you like to tell stories, that's a great way to make some good money. The second category of writing that people will look to is nonfiction writing. So people will go and they'll write a book, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, you will not make a lot of money off that book, right? It's very, very rare that you're going to write a book that's going to sell so many copies that it's going to end up providing for your entire lifestyle. I mean, there's some people who do it. Don't get me wrong, but that's not what you want to bank on. Normally, the way you make the most money if you're doing nonfiction writing is that whatever you're writing about, you have some service, some consulting, some program, something on the back end where people then see you as a subject matter expert, and then they hire you, to get your advice, to get your guidance, to get your expertise. And in that case, the nonfiction writing is really just a means of bringing in leads, right? It's a means of lead generation. Now, you have to be good to make it work. You have to know your stuff. You have to know how to write a book. And if you've never written a nonfiction book that's been publicly successful, I would highly encourage going and hiring a book coach, because I went down that path, trying to do it myself, and it was a flop. And then I went down that path, hiring someone who had 4 New York Times bestsellers to help me do it. And that book was a whole hell of a lot better, unsurprisingly. It's not released yet, but it will be. So by the time you watch this video, it may or may not be out. It will be called The Science of Career Freedom. Feel free to go check it out. But that nonfiction writing, right, is a means by which you can link it to something on the back end and make money there. The third kind of writing that you can make money on is creative writing. This seems to be what a lot of people want to do, right? They want to do creative writing, and that could be anything from children's books to novels to all this kind of stuff. And I'll tell you, creative writing is hard. Creative writing is really hard to make money in, and as best I know, there's no formula for success there, right? I can't necessarily give you a structure. I can give you some principles. Some people use creative writing as a means of self-therapy, generally, that is not going to sell successfully. And the reason for that is that creative writing, to really sell, it needs to be aimed at an audience. If you're writing and the audience is you, then that may or may not align. Maybe you get lucky and there are a bunch of people just like you who are really, really dealing with those demons. In that case, great. But why not go out and see if that's the case first, right? Why not write? Like, there's this challenge where people, like, they don't want to write to an audience, they want to write to themselves, right? And if you want to make money in creative writing, you need to sell a lot. And to do that, you need to find an audience who really, really loves to read what you have to write. So you've got to do some market research here. You've got to write to that audience. You've got to put together something that hits them in a way that nothing has ever hit them before, right? And if you do this, right, and if you're good at it, right, you can go big. But generally, creative writing is one of those things where it's either like flop or like major success, right? And it's a hard road to hoe, right? It's doable, right? But it's a hard road to hoe. Along the same lines, you can also get involved with screenwriting. I was just talking to somebody the other day at one of my events who he does screenwriting, and he charges like $100 an hour. And I was actually telling him, you need to start charging by the screenplay, not by the hour. But again, this is one of those things where it's a creative writing thing. And in this case, he's actually not the one coming up with the ideas. He's taking other people's ideas, other people who have money, or studios or high net worth individuals or whatever, who they have their ideas, and he's writing the screenplay around that. And I was telling him there are actually 3 different angles he should really look at. One is, high net worth individuals who want to write basically autobiographies. And those may or may not sell, but that's not his problem, that's their problem. The second is advocacy groups who are trying to generate consciousness or a sway of opinion around a particular issue and using a movie to do so, right? Which is very much in the nonprofit space. And then the third is studios who are looking to make money, of which 90% of those are going to be adaptations when it comes to the screenplays. But those are some areas in the creative writing domain where you can go and you can make money. And then the fourth way that you can make money writing is technical writing. Right? So technical writing could include something like grant writing, where you're writing a proposal for a grant for funding. So because people are going to be getting money based on the quality of what you write, they're happy to pay. One model that I've seen is 10% of funds received, right? So if you write a big grant, you get a $300,000 grant from some government entity for this organization, they pay you $30K. That's not a bad deal. Along those lines, you can also have like academic writing. So people will get assistance with, especially people who are writing PhDs will get some assistance with the technical writing component of it. And then also, there's there's what's called white papers, right? And these can be scientific, these can be financial. I was talking to somebody who said that he's got friends who do this in crypto right now, which I'm sure that space is of course booming, right? But a white paper, it's a very thorough, well-researched, analytical assessment of something that's specific subject matter expertise. So you're kind of getting into content writing, except for you've gotten to the point where you're requiring a high degree of technical skill. And so whether it be grant writing or academic writing or commercial white papers, all that kind of stuff, the thing about technical writing is it does require a certain amount of subject matter expertise. Because of that, it does pay better, right? It's not uncommon to get paid $100 an hour or more for technical writing, or to do it in, as I said, 10K, 20K, 30K a paper or a grant or whatever, right? That stuff totally works. But it does require you to have the expertise in that area. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's something that resonated with you, maybe a new connection that you made, or some information that shifted your perspective, if you found value here, then I want to give you one last gift. So I've put together a free diagnostic that I call a checkup with the career doctor. Short list of questions, and as you answer them, it's going to give you a readout of where you stand on the important metrics of career fulfillment, right? How happy are you with your job and how good a fit is it? Right? Financial success, which we all know, and then internal alignment, which is your level of inner peace and the inner resources that you have to bring to creating the life that you want. Additionally, it's also going to show you which areas you can improve on to get those metrics moving in the right direction, as well as how can we at the Oculus Institute help you make progress. So it's totally free, 100%. All you have to do is just go to www.oculusinstitute.com/purpose quiz, right? No spaces, no dashes, just oculusinstitute.com. That's OCULUSINSTITUTE.com/purpose quiz. and you can take it totally for free. You'll get a free report sent to you, and then at the end, it will give you some next steps of what you can do to reach out so that we can help you create the career of your dreams.